Right, welcome ladies and gents. The Rings of Power a bomb. We got new figures and it seems to confirm what the general census is in the air that it was indeed a bomb. So, what we have here. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. And also, thank you for tuning in. Do appreciate it. If you're new here, do hit subscribe. And also, check out my second channel, all live stream highlight clips and things like that in the description box. You will like it, I can assure you of that. But what we've got here is Variety's beautiful, lovely VIP article, which is pretty damning. The headline alone is pretty damning. Amazon's silence on The Rings of Power. Audience size is deafening. Now look, this is hidden behind a paywall. But it's interesting. I mean, even just these first three paragraphs that we can see, right? The Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power is in theory among Amazon Prime Video's most watched original series ever. So, why is the tech giant being so cagey about its viewership? I wonder why. I mean, we all know why. In the course of the fantasy series' entire 6-week run, Amazon released just one figure quantifying its performance, claiming the first two episodes were streamed by 25 million global viewers in their first 24 hours of availability. Who cares? And in the 3 weeks since the first season finale, the company has been just as quiet, with only a line in its quarter 3 earnings report. A quarter 3 earnings report, you've got one line. I mean, come on now, behave. Noting The Rings of Power is closing in on 100 million viewers to date. Very vague. Closing in how? 75 million? 80? Who? How many? What is it? 60 even. But a vague figure previously revealed by Amazon studio chief Jennifer Salk in an interview with Variety. Now look, this was hidden behind a paywall, but other people have paid for it, so I don't have to, and neither do you. We can take a look at this together, because that's the beauty of online sleuthing. The Rings of Power. Basically, the audience shrank every single week. Now, this adds volumes as to exactly, you know, why the showrunners have been doing massive amounts of interviews ever since the series released and ended and all that, right? They're trying to drum up viewers. Even Lord of the Rings, Amazon Prime, whatever it is, the Twitter account keeps hammering it out. You can binge watch it all now, blah, 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 blah. No one's interested. No one wants to watch it. You know, literally, it's just... this is going to be forgotten about in a year. No one's going to be talking about it in a year. Right? Until they start production again. And then we start hearing more nonsense. And then people will start talking about it because it will be critical of a negative perspective. Because criticism, ladies and gents, is often just considered to be negative. But you can have positive criticism. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. So this will just be forgotten about. But this is why people keep trying to drum up business for it. Because it's a bomb. We said it, and it is a bomb. The Rings of Power, it's funny, isn't it? Every single tactic they did to try and push, you know, viewers and the reviews and things, you know, hiding negative reviews, not approving negative reviews, removing negative reviews, holding negative reviews. But remember, every negative review is a troll. All positive. That couldn't possibly be review bombing on a positive scale, could it? No. Only has to be negatives. Right, anyway. So a new report suggests that viewership from Amazon Prime's videos Lord of the Rings of Power steadily declined with each new episode. Basically, everyone kept trying to give it a chance, and with each episode, their opinions were validated, vindicated. This is garbage. This is poo. It's not getting anywhere. It's boring. That was the main complaint. It was boring. God, painfully boring. But anyway, the new report shows that viewership for Amazon's Prime Video, The Lord of the Rings of Prime, contracted week on, week out, every single week it declined. And again, it's a testament to nigh on everyone's feedback that is negative, is that this show was dull as toast. I quite like toast, so I don't know why I use that analogy. But according to an analysis from Variety, Nielsen reports indicate that the show earned 1% viewer minutes streamed every consecutive week, with every consecutive week. I mean, you know, it makes sense as to why they're not talking about it, doesn't it? Makes sense. Ooh, god damn. With comparatively few viewers starting the show in the weeks after it premiered, the show also seemed to have its largest drop-off after its first 2 weeks, which showed a decline of around 20%. 20%! God, I think that's worse than Batwoman. This suggests that a good amount of viewers who streamed the Rings of Power early on gave up on it pretty soon afterwards. So everyone was like, you know what? Lord of the Rings, I like Tolkien, I'm a Lord of the Rings fan. Get in there, son, right? So they get in, they start watching it, and then they're like, hold on, who's this? Mamladriel. Yes, ma'am. Karen of the high seas of the elves. And they're like, what is this garbage? And then they tune out because it's boring. Well, Nielsen's metrics only measure US viewership connected to televisions, so it's gonna be worse. It's gonna be worse than that, ladies and gents. It will be worse than that, right? Because yes, they only measure US viewers connected to televisions, excluding viewers streaming on other types of devices. The visible downward trend is notable in the trade's analysis, which sees it as problematic for the show's future growth. What future growth? Yet the Rings of Power is still making a victory of its impressive early viewership numbers. According to Amazon, the Lord of the Rings prequel series saw an impressive 25 million viewers in the first 24 hours after its premiere. These numbers made it Prime's most watched series premiere to date. Sure, fine, I guess. But what's the others? Like, also, what else have they had? This is the biggest property they've ever had. They haven't had anything else. However, the show also saw a spike in demand following its October 14th series finale. So basically, people were like, you know what, it's completed now, let me just have a watch. According to Parrot Analytics, there was an impressive 55.7 times increase in viewership, which was an all-time high viewership number for season 1 of the show. So it's done, but then they don't say what they're not saying what the drop off is with that. Yes, there was a demand upon its finalising the series finale, but then they don't say what the drop off is episode per episode. So that doesn't make any sense. You know, that's a bad metric to go by. Oh, terrible. Anyway, so Lindsay Weber, the executive producer, teased that the show creators have some epic things in store for the new episode, saying that it's going to be grittier, more intense, maybe a little scarier, now that Sauron's true identity is finally out in the open. Because remember, not Sauron was Sauron. Totally not Sauron, ended up being Sauron. You know. Anyway, Weber wasn't the only one. Anyway, so Patrick McKay, idiot showrunner, was like, it's going to be bigger and better on every level by an order of magnitude. You're just saying words, Patrick. You're literally just saying words. It's going to be bigger and better on every level by an order of magnitude. What magnitude? You're just saying words. That means nothing. You tit. Anyway, certainly you look at audience response and you see what characters people love and what kind of storytelling moves them. Overcorrecting for any of it, they are listening to people's responses. Sure. So they aren't going to correct for any of it, but they are listening to people's responses. Except for the negative ones. You know, couldn't possibly listen to them, because that's just review bombing, isn't it? So anyway, this certified bomb contracted week on, week out. And that's only US. Mark my words, be worse worldwide, or about the same. Jeez.